Hello, FlossTube friends. My name is Shanda. I live along the Continental Divide in Idaho, and this is Stitching in Idaho. A warm welcome back to my studio here in the mountains. I'm in my quilting studio. I'm surrounded by my happy things, my quilts, my gamel. My Bernina is over here. I have my gas wood stove fireplace. Looks like wood, but it's gas fireplace over here in the corner that keeps me nice and toasty warm. So welcome back to my studio. There is snow out on the ground still. There's a good 5, 6, 7 inches out there, and I'm looking at an empty garden area that my husband and I took the fence down around last fall, and we're going to put up a 10-foot fence for the deer, and I'm going to put in a raised bed garden right outside. It's, I don't know, walking distance outside here from my studio. But right now it's a sad state of affairs because it's covered with snow. It is pretty flat and ready to go, but we're gonna have to build some beds, and off in the distance are the mountains. So but today we're going to talk just a little bit of cross stitch. It'll probably be a little bit shorter video because I did my whip parade kind of halfway through my monthly floss tubes. But I did get 2 finishes done. The first one is Paper Snowflakes by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I did change a couple of these colors. My heirloom gold that's called for in her skirt was not showing up at all. So I changed it to the same green as the tree. I believe it's Piney Woods, or yeah, Piney Woods. And her scissors were not showing up either. So I changed those to black, just DMC black. And there was one other color change, and oh, the white is whitewash. It was not showing up. This is called for linen, Abecedarian, 36 count Abecedarian. But there it is in all its glory. It's all done. It will go into my project roll. Loved the little red house up there. She's got a beautiful snowflake in her hand, and her scissors show up, and all the other snowflakes show up. Doesn't look like they're showing up too much on camera, but they do show up in person. So Paper Snowflakes with Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Finish for me. The second finish I had was really small, and sorry, I don't have a table in front of me. I have 2 chairs side by side here, so I'm going to be turning my head just a little bit. It was a freebie. I did look this up. It's a freebie called Now I Know My ABCs by Blackbird, so I can show the chart. I believe I got this. I actually Googled it when I was doing my research to see if it was a freebie. I just Googled, Now I Know My ABCs, but I put Blackbird Designs behind that search. Otherwise, you're going to get all kinds of stuff. And it came right up. It popped right up. But I just did it in blues, and I love the variegation in this. Probably going to just turn this into a small pillow. Got that one done and off my checklist. So I worked my whip count down to 2 more. So I believe that's 3 or 4 for me now for the year. 3. I had to think about that. 3 out of my 23 and 23 whips. So we'll see how far I get. Now I'm going to be concentrating on, and sorry I left these projects down in the other house, Elizabeth Charlene by Lottie Daw. I got her border. I think I showed her on my whip parade, and I got just a few more of the strawberry border part done. And I'm also going to be concentrating on the homework assignment that I've given myself for O Tannenbaum from With Thy Needle and Thread, and I will put pictures of both of those in at the end because I will be doing my editing where I will have my projects with me. But a couple of you have gone out and gotten the box. There is still some boxes available as far as I know. I was out there 2 or 3 days ago and it did not say sold out. So if you want the box for O Tannenbaum, it is from Beach Cottage Stitchers. And once you're on her website, if you hit the search button, it's kind of at the top third anyway, kind of hard to find. Search on O Tannenbaum or wooden box or wooden tray. And it's I think it's the 5-section wooden tray that comes up. I made sure I went to O Tannenbaum, and then just down below that it said purchase wooden tray here, and that's what I clicked on. So I made sure I got the right size. But these are still available. She does charge you for priority postage because this is kind of a soft wood, and I was a little bit hesitant whether it would make it through the mail without breaking or being squished, and it came perfectly. But you do have to pay a little bit more in postage. So they are available. Go out and get your box. I think the one we're doing now is, if I'm holding this right, on the front pattern, it's right here. It says, "Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree." That is our homework for February and March. 2 months for one small. I figured that was very doable. But I will put pictures of my progress on the end, and the pictures in the end. The other thing I finished when I was up here, when I left here in the summer, I left kind of in a fast and furious hurry. Oh, there goes the Amish children. I do live in a wonderful part of Idaho. I left 6 project bags undone. So I finished 6 of these. These, some of them are just plain Janers. This is my favorite. It's got, it's accented in brown. The bees, let me back up for just a second. I think I put the bees are from Wyndham Fabrics. Be My Sunshine is this fabric. And it's lined just a light shirting. This one, sorry, I cannot remember what this is from. I do remember it was a Holly Taylor from Moda, now that I think about it. Probably at least 10, 15-year-old fabric though. So, but this is one of my favorites for fall. This one also, see that red work? There's women quilting. This one is very old fabric, but I did save the salvage from it too. Quilty Ladies by Sally Assenheimer from Andover Fabrics. If you want to look at that, it says Andover Fabrics right there. Quilty Ladies by Sally Assenheimer. But that's this fabric that's on the bottom, and this was just a scrap. I had used this one all up, but I just love those Quilty Ladies. This was a new one that I got from Maggie's, not the bag, the material. The blue floral was from Maggie's on Main in Emmett. A Christmas red truck. And some toile that I love, that I've had for forever. It's just a Christmas scene. I put some red buffalo plaid across it, and I want to say the inside is the same. Love this one for my new. So I'm done. I'm done making projects bags, at least for myself right now. I get asked frequently if I make project bags for sale, and right now I don't. That's something I may pursue in the future, but I'm done making bags for myself. I have plenty. I may buy a few if I really, really like the fabric, but I'm done making bags for myself. So I finished those 6 up. Like I said, I left here in September after my quilting retreat over in Missoula, or my stitching retreat over in Missoula. I left here in quite a hurry, and my studio was a mess. An absolute mess, and I had to leave a couple projects undone. I just ran out of time. No emergencies or anything. I just ran out of time. So I thought, Christmas when I came, I didn't have time at Christmas. We were here for such a short time to visit my mom and have Christmas Day. Um, but I thought when I came up for President's Day weekend, I would get some of these things um, finished. So I did. I cleaned. I dusted. My quilting studio is at least back to normal that I can function and work in. Okay, the last couple of things I want to talk about is if you go back and look at some of my older videos when I was doing some quilting tutorials or some quilting, it wasn't a tutorial, it was more like a quilt along for the quilt book by Carol Hopkins, the 4x5 quilt block anthology. So, and some of my older videos, on my black wardrobe right here, my armoire, was hanging this dress. I quilted this panel and made this dress as a blessing dress for my granddaughter. Now it's really long, but obviously when you're a baby, a lot of it, most of the bottom fell over her legs. She was blessed. But this is her blessing dress. I don't think I can get it all in here. That I quilted. This is the one my daughter had wanted me to make. And this pattern was probably 10 or 12 years old. And she'd seen it as a little girl in a shop in Utah. That's all we had to go on. And the first call I made, lo and behold, they had the pattern. So we had it sent to us, and this dress is now, let's see, Emma's almost 11, so it's about 11 years old. I made this 11 years ago. So my quilting's kind of improved since then. This is just a small stipple with a heart on the top of it. Yeah, anyway. Emma's blessing dress from 11 years ago. The last two things I want to share kind of brought back a smile. As I was cleaning out my studio, one of these things I have hanging, and it's never ever dawned on me to show this. Maybe because I thought it was too, what's the word I want to use? Too plain, too simple, too basic. And don't laugh. This is a picture of my husband and I on our wedding day, and this is cross-stitched. This is on 14 count, no, 18 count. But this is one way back in the day that I could work in quilting with cross-stitch. Really old picture. Off camera there, he was holding a cane, and he had a top hat, and I had a parasol. But this is a double wedding ring pattern, and this is just something that I stitched. Well, we were married in 1987, so 37, maybe 35 years old, because I was, I waited a couple years to stitch this. But anyway, just a memento. And this green mat really dates this. This is definitely an 80s thing. The colors are 80s, but anyway, that's one way I worked in my quilting with my cross stitch so that I could have a picture with my husband and a double wedding ring pattern in a frame. And the last thing, I laughed out loud. I was fortunate to be able to go to Quilt Market in Salt Lake City in 2016. And it's the Quilt Market. It's not like Houston or Paducah where the general public can go. This was for retailers only, for like the wholesale market trade show. And they were giving out these like hacky sack bags. I can't remember what they call them, but anyway, these big long bags with a big long handle, and it says Camp Moda on it. And then these patches are real. And you could go around to different vendors that were carrying Moda fabric. I remember a lot of these I got from like Lisa Bonjean, and Jenny Doan had some in her booth. But you collected all these additional patches and you could sew them on the back. Well, here are all my patches. I have cotton and wool. I mean, some of these were just born to quilt. Obviously, they're all quilting related. This was a Quilt Market trade show. This one I laughed. I reproduce. Some of them are the same. Measure Measure responsibly. I had to laugh. Sewing makes me happy. So in love. But they're real patches. They're almost like Boy Scout patches. Got repo, like for reproduction fabrics. Stitch, rip, repeat. I mean, these are just, they brought a smile. One stitch at a time. This kind of looks like maybe a cross stitch. Here's an emoji. This was 2016. So this is kind of when they were just taken off. Here's an emoji with flying geese for tears. Oh, quite funny. Create with a tomato. So whatever. And I love scraps. Just kind of something fun. Now if I can sew these, I don't know if I have enough of them. On here I have Peacemakers and 2016 International Quilt Market. That one was sewn on. And then you got this one and the bag. I've sewed on this one. And the patches on the front were already sewn on the bag. So I came across this in a deep, dark tub under my quilting fabric shelves here. And I think I laughed for 10 minutes. I thought, oh, you know, I really gotta get that done. But anyway, Camp Moda, it's like a, I can't remember, messenger bag maybe. It's just a flimsy cotton, but it'd be great for summer use. So maybe I'll get those patches sewn on that and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, here's wishing you happy stitching. Stay safe and warm wherever you may be. Sounds like there's some winter weather still out there for us in the Northern Hemisphere. Here in the United States, we just celebrated President's Day. Actually, today is President's Day. I'm filming this a week early, and then I'll have a little bit of time to edit and upload, which seems to be it just seems to take me a long time. I think that's it. I will see you the 4th weekend in March, which should be after the new season equinox. Spring is on its way. I will be working on now Elizabeth Charlene, O Tannenbaum, and the last one I may break out and start to work on is the Salt Box Quilt Sampler, and that one also is by Brenda Gervais with Needle and Thread, and that's one of my very favorite whips that I have that's in my pile to be done. So happy stitching, and I wish you the best. See you next time.